Dragonflies and daffodils learn from us.
At 83, Nancy Sinatra is proving why Hollywood just can't stop talking about her. The These Boots Are Made for Walkin singer wasn't just Frank Sinatra's daughter. She was a cultural icon who changed the game. From her electric chemistry with Elvis Presley to the career-defining moments that almost ended it all, Nancy's story is packed with secrets the industry never saw coming. Her bold fashion, fearless attitude, and rebellious spirit made her a legend. But the real drama unfolded behind the scenes. Scandals, shocking confessions, and the pressure of living up to the Sinatra name. Nancy Sinatra's life was anything but ordinary. And just wait until you hear the truth about the Hollywood power struggles, the lost love, and the one decision that changed everything. Nancy Sinatra was born on June 8, 1940, in Jersey City, New Jersey, into a world where music was more than just entertainment. It was the foundation of her family. As the daughter of Frank Sinatra, she was born into Hollywood royalty. But that didn't mean her path to success was easy. In fact, being the daughter of one of the most famous singers in the world came with enormous expectations and even bigger challenges. Everyone assumed she would ride on her father's success, but Nancy had other plans. She didn't just want to be Frank Sinatra's daughter. She wanted to be Nancy Sinatra. Growing up in the Sinatra household meant being surrounded by some of the biggest names in show business. She watched her father perform, saw firsthand what it took to be an icon, and learned early on that fame wasn't just about talent. It was about persistence, resilience, and knowing who you were. But for Nancy, there was always the struggle of stepping out from her father's shadow. No matter where she went, she was introduced as Frank Sinatra's daughter. No one asked about her dreams, her talent, or her ambitions. To the world, she was simply an extension of him, a name attached to a legend. From a young age, she knew she wanted to perform, but she also knew that people would doubt her. The industry was filled with second-generation stars who never made it beyond their famous last names. People assumed Nancy's success, if she had any, would be handed to her, that her father would pull the strings, and that she would never truly earn her place. She had to prove them wrong. Nancy's first attempts at launching a music career were far from successful. Her early singles failed to make an impact, and the critics were ruthless. They dismissed her as nothing more than a novelty act, a privileged daughter trying to play singer. The comparisons to her father were endless, and no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't escape the expectations that came with being a Sinatra. She wasn't looking to compete with him. She was trying to carve out something of her own. But Nancy wasn't about to give up. She knew that if she wanted to be taken seriously, she had to reinvent herself. She had to create a sound, an image, and a presence that was uniquely hers. She couldn't be a carbon copy of her father, and she couldn't rely on the Sinatra name to carry her. She had to work harder, push further, and show the world that she had something real to offer. Then, everything changed. With the help of producer Lee Hazelwood, Nancy developed a new sound, one that was raw, edgy, and nothing like the polished big band style her father was known for. This wasn't the smooth swing of Frank Sinatra. This was something bolder, something more rebellious. It was music that matched her personality, her attitude, and her vision of who she wanted to be. Her transformation wasn't just about the music. Nancy's style became just as iconic as her voice. The platinum blonde hair, the dramatic eyeliner, the mini skirts, and, of course, the knee-high boots. This wasn't just fashion, it was a statement. She wasn't here to be a soft, delicate version of her father's legacy. She was here to be something entirely different. When These Boots Are Made for Walkin was released in 1966, it was more than just a hit song. It was a revolution. Nancy had finally broken free from the shadow of her father's name. She wasn't just Frank Sinatra's daughter anymore. She was Nancy Sinatra, a bold, confident artist who had something to say. The song became an anthem, a declaration of female independence and a cultural shift that no one saw coming. Even with her rising success, the media couldn't resist bringing her father into every conversation. Interviewers constantly asked her about Frank, about his influence on her career, about what he thought of her music. It was as if they couldn't accept that she had built something on her own. But Nancy never let it get to her. She loved her father, respected his legacy, but she wasn't living in his shadow anymore. She was walking in her own boots, and the world was finally taking notice. Nancy's journey wasn't just about becoming a star. It was about proving that she wasn't just famous because of her last name. She had earned her place in music, and she had done it on her own terms. The world had expected her to be nothing more than a reflection of her father, but she had become something else entirely. A singer, a style icon, a trailblazer. Her transformation from Frank Sinatra's daughter to Nancy Sinatra wasn't easy, but it was worth every struggle. She had redefined what it meant to be a second-generation star, proving that talent, determination, and vision could outshine even the most famous name in the world. And this was only the beginning of her story. Nancy Sinatra's journey into music didn't begin with an instant rise to fame. Despite having a legendary last name, the industry didn't hand her success on a silver platter. In the early 1960s, she struggled to make her mark. Her first recordings barely made an impact, and critics dismissed her as just another celebrity offspring trying to ride on her father's coattails. Record executives weren't convinced she had the staying power to be a star. She released single after single, but nothing seemed to catch fire. Each song felt like a misstep, a sound that didn't quite fit. The public didn't know what to make of her, and the music industry was ready to write her off. But Nancy wasn't willing to fade into obscurity. She knew she had something unique. She just hadn't found the right way to present it. Instead of giving up, she reinvented herself. She changed everything. The way she looked, the way she sang, even the way she carried herself. The sweet, wholesome image was out. In its place, a bolder, more confident Nancy Sinatra emerged. Gone were the soft curls and conservative outfits. In their place came platinum blonde bangs, mini skirts, and knee-high boots. It was a transformation that was impossible to ignore. The mastermind behind this new era wasn't just Nancy. It was producer Lee Hazelwood. He wasn't interested in making her sound like anyone else. He wanted something fresh, something daring. He pushed Nancy to drop the delicate, polished style that wasn't working and embrace a sultrier, edgier sound. He knew that if she wanted to stand out, she had to sing like she meant every word. Hazelwood's deep, moody production style clashed perfectly with Nancy's voice. Soft, yet commanding. Sweet, but with an undeniable bite. Together, they created a new sound, one that had grit, attitude, and undeniable swagger. Then came These Boots Are Made for Walkin. The moment the song hit the airwaves, everything changed. This wasn't just a catchy tune, it was a statement. The song dripped with attitude, telling off an unfaithful man with a smirk and a warning. It was playful, yet fierce. Nancy didn't just sing the lyrics, she owned them. Her voice carried the perfect mix of charm and defiance, turning what could have been just another pop song into an anthem. Audiences couldn't get enough. The song shot up the charts, reaching #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1966. Women saw themselves in Nancy, bold, independent, unwilling to be pushed around. Men were mesmerized by her confidence and effortless cool. The knee-high boots and mini-skirts became a fashion revolution, with young women everywhere copying her look. It was more than just music. It was a cultural shift. Nancy wasn't just Frank Sinatra's daughter anymore. She was Nancy Sinatra, a force of her own. The world finally saw what she had known all along. She wasn't a footnote in someone else's story. She was the one writing the next chapter. Nancy Sinatra's rise to fame wasn't just about having a famous last name. It was about proving she could stand on her own. And in 1966, she did exactly that. These Boots Are Made for Walkin' wasn't just a hit. It was a cultural moment. The song exploded onto the charts, reaching #1 and turning Nancy into a household name overnight. But it wasn't just about the numbers. It was about the message. At a time when women in music were often expected to sing about heartbreak and devotion, Nancy came in with something completely different. She wasn't crying over a man. She was warning him. The lyrics dripped with confidence, a woman refusing to be walked over. And it wasn't just the words. It was the way she delivered them. That mix of sweetness and bite. The cool detachment that told the world she meant every word. This wasn't a passive love song. It was a statement. Women everywhere embraced it as their anthem. It was power in the form of a song, an attitude wrapped in a melody. Nancy had given voice to something bigger than just herself. And with it, she had shattered every doubt that she was only famous because of her father. But just as her star was rising, another legendary name entered her story: Elvis Presley. The king of rock and roll was at the peak of his career, but even he took notice of Nancy's undeniable presence. They ran in the same circles, they knew the same people, and soon enough, their paths crossed. The chemistry between Nancy and Elvis was instant. Off-screen, they were drawn to each other, two music industry powerhouses who understood the pressures of fame. On-screen, their connection was electric. When Elvis needed a leading lady for Speedway in 1968, there was only one person he wanted. He personally picked Nancy to star alongside him. And when the king made a request, Hollywood listened. In Speedway, Nancy played Susan Jacks, a tax agent determined to go after Elvis's character, race car driver Steve Grayson. But behind the playful banter and flirtatious moments, there was something more. The film wasn't just another Elvis musical. It was a showcase of two icons at their best. Nancy wasn't just another love interest. She had a presence that matched Elvis's charm, a confidence that kept her from being overshadowed. Rumors swirled about what really happened between them. Was it just a professional connection? Or was there something more? Some insiders claimed there was an undeniable spark, a magnetic pull neither of them could ignore. Others insisted they were just close friends, bonded by a deep understanding of life under the spotlight. Nancy herself has never spilled all the details. What she does say is that she and Elvis shared mutual respect, admiration, and a friendship that lasted for years. They supported each other, understood each other, and whether or not there was ever more behind the scenes, the world will never truly know. What is certain is that working with Elvis elevated Nancy's career even further. It proved she wasn't just a singer, she was an actress, a performer, and a star who could hold her own next to the biggest names in the industry. By the late 1960s, Nancy had cemented her legacy. She was no longer just Frank Sinatra's daughter. She was no longer just the girl who sang, "These boots are made for walkin'." She was a star in her own right, making her own decisions, forging her own path. And with every song, every performance, every role, she made one thing clear. She had arrived, and she wasn't going anywhere. Being Frank Sinatra's daughter was both a blessing and a curse. The name opened doors, but it also came with impossible expectations. From the moment Nancy Sinatra stepped into the entertainment world, people assumed she had everything handed to her. They thought success would be automatic. What they didn't realize was that Hollywood wasn't looking for another Sinatra. It was looking for a reason to dismiss her. She was constantly compared to her father, a man whose voice defined an era. No matter what she did, critics always brought him up. If she failed, they said she wasn't good enough. If she succeeded, they claimed it was only because of her last name. It was a no-win situation, and Nancy knew that if she wanted to be taken seriously, she had to break out of his shadow. But that wasn't easy, especially in a male-dominated industry. Executives saw her as Frank's daughter first, a singer second. They wanted to mold her into something safe, something familiar. They pushed for love songs, for a softer, more traditional image. But Nancy had other ideas. She didn't want to be just another pretty voice singing about heartbreak. She wanted something edgier, something with attitude. And that made people nervous. Behind the scenes, there were tensions within her father's circle. Frank Sinatra had built an empire, and the people around him were protective of it. Some felt Nancy's career could reflect poorly on him if she didn't succeed. Others worried that if she strayed too far from his style, it could tarnish the Sinatra name. There were even whispers that certain industry insiders didn't want her to succeed at all. If she failed, it would reinforce the idea that Frank Sinatra was one of a kind, impossible to replicate. The pressure was relentless, but Nancy refused to back down. She fought for artistic control, pushing back against executives who wanted her to play it safe. When she teamed up with Lee Hazelwood, she was taking a risk. His sound was unconventional, his lyrics bold. But she knew that was exactly what she needed. She didn't want to be the next version of anyone. She wanted to be the first Nancy Sinatra. That independence nearly cost her everything. There were moments when record labels weren't sure if they wanted to back her. Industry insiders questioned whether she was making a mistake by straying so far from traditional pop. But then, "These boots are made for walkin'" changed everything. It was proof that Nancy knew exactly what she was doing. Even then, Hollywood wasn't done trying to put her in a box. After the song became a global sensation, everyone wanted to capitalize on her success. They wanted her to keep making the same kind of music, to stay frozen in time as the Boots girl. But Nancy had no interest in being a one-hit wonder. She experimented with new styles, took on acting roles, and refused to let anyone define her career for her. That decision came with consequences. Some in the industry saw her independence as defiance. The same people who had once doubted her talent now tried to downplay her success. But Nancy had already proven she didn't need their approval. She carved out her own space in music and film, proving that she was more than a famous last name. She had the voice, the vision, and most importantly, the resilience to survive in an industry that had tried to count her out. Nancy Sinatra was never meant to fit into Hollywood's expectations because she was too busy creating her own. Nancy Sinatra didn't just make music, she made a statement. From the moment she stepped into the spotlight, she wasn't just another singer. She had a look, a presence, and a confidence that made her unforgettable. But that wasn't by accident. Her image was carefully crafted, a reflection of both who she was and the era she helped define. In the 1960s, women in music were expected to play by a certain set of rules. They could be elegant, they could be glamorous, but they weren't supposed to be bold. They weren't supposed to take risks. Nancy changed that. She knew that if she wanted to be more than just Frank Sinatra's daughter, she had to stand out. And she did, with a look that was impossible to ignore. The platinum blonde hair, the thick lashes, the high hemlines and knee-high boots. It was a combination that made her a fashion icon overnight. But it wasn't just about looking good. It was about making an impact. The miniskirts and go-go boots weren't just trendy. They were a symbol of rebellion, of independence. They represented a new kind of woman, one who wasn't afraid to take up space, to own her power, to be seen and heard. When these boots are made for Walkin hit the charts, the world didn't just hear it, they saw it. Nancy's outfits became just as famous as her music. Girls everywhere wanted to dress like her. Designers took notice. The knee-high boot trend exploded. The mod aesthetic, once a niche fashion movement, went mainstream. And suddenly, Nancy wasn't just influencing music, she was changing the way women dressed. But with that influence came controversy. The industry had a way of twisting things, of turning powerful women into something else. Some critics dismissed her style as nothing more than a marketing gimmick. They claimed she was selling an image rather than talent. Others accused her of leaning too hard into being a sex symbol, of using fashion to distract from her music. Nancy had heard it all before. But what people didn't realize was that she was in control the entire time. The boots, the skirts, the boldness. It wasn't about appealing to men, it was about expressing herself. She wasn't trying to be anyone's fantasy. She was embracing the confidence that came with being completely, unapologetically herself. And decades later, that influence still lives on. Modern pop stars like Ariana Grande, Lana Del Rey, and even Billie Eilish have drawn inspiration from her style. The mix of sweetness and edge, the effortless cool, that's Nancy's legacy. She paved the way for women in music to have both substance and style, to be both fashionable and powerful. But despite all the speculation, despite the decades of people trying to define her, the truth is simple. Nancy Sinatra was never just an image. She was an artist, a trailblazer, and a woman who knew exactly what she wanted. And she made sure the world never forgot it. Nancy Sinatra's life was never just about the music, the fame, or the fashion. Behind the spotlight, she was a woman who loved deeply, lost painfully, and made choices that defined her far beyond her career. The world knew her as a pop icon, but few really understood the personal struggles she carried with her. Balancing love and fame was never easy. From an early age, she understood that relationships in the public eye came with challenges most people could never imagine. The demands of the music industry, the constant scrutiny, and the expectations that came with her last name made privacy almost impossible. And when you're Nancy Sinatra, the world always has an opinion about who you love and how you live. Marriage was something she never took lightly. In 1960, she married teen idol and actor Tommy Sands, a relationship that seemed like a perfect Hollywood romance. But the pressures of fame and the industry's interference took their toll. By 1965, they had divorced, a painful experience that left Nancy heartbroken but determined to move forward. She learned early that in Hollywood, love was rarely simple. But through it all, one relationship remained at the center of her life. her father, Frank Sinatra. Their bond was undeniable, but it was also complicated. Frank was more than just a legendary performer. He was a powerful, sometimes intimidating figure. He was fiercely protective of Nancy, but he also had high expectations. He wanted her to succeed, but he also knew how ruthless the industry could be. He had built his career from the ground up, and he expected his daughter to do the same. That wasn't always easy for Nancy. She adored her father, but she also wanted to prove that she could make it on her own. She didn't want special treatment, and she certainly didn't want to be seen as just Frank Sinatra's daughter. There were times when they clashed, times when she felt the weight of his legacy pressing down on her. But through every challenge, every fight, every moment of doubt, she knew he loved her. And as much as she wanted to make a name for herself, she also wanted to make him proud. As the years went on, Nancy found love again. In 1970, she married Hugh Lambert, a man who wasn't from the Hollywood scene but understood the importance of family. With him, she found stability. They built a life together away from the chaos of fame, and for the first time, Nancy allowed herself to slow down. She embraced motherhood, raising 2 daughters and prioritizing her family over everything else. It was a side of her that the public rarely saw, the devoted wife and mother who found her greatest happiness in the quiet moments at home. But life had its share of heartbreak. In 1985, Nancy lost Hugh to cancer, a devastating loss that left a permanent mark on her. Losing him forced her to reevaluate everything. She had spent so much of her life in the public eye, but now she felt the pull to step away, to focus on the things that truly mattered. Then, in 1998, came the loss that shook her to her core. Her father, Frank Sinatra, passed away at the age of 82. The world mourned a legend, but Nancy mourned the man who had shaped her life in ways no one else could. He was her biggest supporter, her toughest critic, and the person who had always believed in her, even when she didn't believe in herself. After his death, Nancy made a decision. She stepped back from the industry, choosing instead to focus on family and philanthropy. She dedicated herself to preserving her father's legacy, ensuring that future generations would remember not just the icon, but the man behind the music. She became an advocate for veterans, a cause that had been close to Frank's heart, and used her platform to give back in ways that mattered. Nancy Sinatra had spent decades in the spotlight, but in the end, her greatest achievements weren't measured in record sales or hit songs. They were in the love she gave, the family she built, and the way she carried forward the lessons her father had taught her. She had spent a lifetime proving she was more than a famous last name, and by the time she stepped away, the world finally understood. Nancy Sinatra had created a legacy of her own. By the 1990s, Nancy Sinatra could have easily faded into nostalgia, another star from a bygone era, remembered for a few hits and a famous last name. But that's not what happened. Instead, something unexpected took place. A new generation was discovering her music, and suddenly, Nancy wasn't just a voice from the past, she was influencing the future. It started with a shift in how people viewed her work. Songs like "These Boots Are Made for Walkin'," "Bang Bang," "My Baby Shot Me Down," and "Some Velvet Morning" weren't just oldies, they were timeless. Filmmakers, artists, and musicians began pulling inspiration from her sound, bringing her music to new audiences. Quentin Tarantino used "Bang Bang" in Kill Bill, Volume 1, instantly reintroducing Nancy's haunting vocals to a younger crowd. Suddenly, she wasn't just a 60s icon, she was part of something bigger, something lasting. That resurgence caught the attention of rock and alternative artists who had grown up admiring her. Morrissey, the former frontman of the Smiths, was one of them. He had long been a fan, and in the mid-2000s, he championed her comeback. With his support, Nancy found herself working alongside some of the biggest names in music: U2, Sonic Youth, and even Jarvis Cocker of Pulp. These collaborations weren't about nostalgia, they were about evolution. Nancy wasn't just revisiting her past, she was proving she still had something new to offer. Then came Nancy Sinatra, her 2004 self-titled album. It wasn't a greatest hits collection, it wasn't a throwback. It was fresh, bold, and unapologetically modern. She worked with artists decades younger than her, blending her signature sound with contemporary production. Songs like "Let Me Kiss You," written by Morrissey, showed that she wasn't just surviving in the industry, she was thriving. Critics took notice. The album wasn't just well received, it was proof that Nancy Sinatra was still relevant. She had managed to do what so few artists could: reinvent herself without losing what made her special. Her influence never stopped there. Decades after she first stepped onto the scene, artists like Lana Del Rey, Arctic Monkeys, and even modern pop icons like Billie Eilish have drawn inspiration from her style, her voice, and her attitude. The dreamy, cinematic sound that defined her music in the 60s is now a blueprint for a whole new wave of artists. Nancy Sinatra's comeback wasn't loud. It wasn't a desperate grab for attention. It was quiet, confident, and exactly what it needed to be. A reminder that true artistry never fades. She didn't just return to music, she reclaimed her place in it. Nancy Sinatra's impact didn't end with "These Boots Are Made for Walkin'."
I don't want to know about a lot of people about a lot of things that they do. I really don't want to know.
When considering music artists, many recall him as a singer who revolutionized music in the 20th century, inspiring countless others. However, behind the glamour of hits like "My Way" and "New York, New York," the music artist's life also had its darker aspects. Let's delve into some of these overlooked details about the iconic singer, Frank Sinatra. Frank's birth was not without its complications. He was nearly declared dead at arrival, but thankfully, his grandmother was there to revive him. The forceps used during his delivery left him with facial scars, leading to the nickname Scarface. Despite the nickname, Frank's career as a music artist took off, and he became known for his unique voice and style. However, few people know about the misunderstanding that led to his given name. Frank was supposed to be named Martin after his father, but due to a mix-up at his baptism, he was named after his godfather, Frank Garrick. This mistake did not seem to affect Frank's success, as he went on to become one of the most famous music artists of all time. His legacy continues to live on through his music, which has touched the lives of many. It's interesting to think about how different Frank's life and career might have been if he had been named Martin instead of Frank. Would he have still become a successful music artist, or would he have taken a different path? We'll never know for sure, but one thing is certain: his impact on the music industry is undeniable. Born to Italian immigrant parents in 1915, the music artist was their only child. Sinatra's father worked as a tavern owner and part-time prize fighter, while his mother was a midwife involved in illegal abortions and local politics. Despite coming from a humble background, the music artist was driven by ambition from a young age. Sinatra's parents, however, were not initially supportive of his singing career. His mother, in particular, was hesitant to encourage her son's dreams of becoming a singer, but the music artist's determination and passion for music eventually won her over. She began to help him by buying sheet music and using her connections to get him gigs in local nightclubs and bars. Sinatra's mother played a crucial role in launching his career, and he was always grateful for her support. In his later years, he would often speak fondly of his mother and the sacrifices she made to help him achieve his dreams. The music artist's ambition and determination were evident from an early age. He knew what he wanted and was willing to do whatever it took to make it happen. Despite facing obstacles and setbacks, he never gave up on his dreams. His story is a testament to the power of ambition and the importance of having a supportive network of family and friends. Following his time with the Hoboken Four, the music artist's career trajectory shifted dramatically. His ambition outpaced that of his bandmates, propelling him towards greater success. In 1940, a pivotal moment arrived when Tommy Dorsey extended him a contract, marking the music artist's entry into the big leagues. By 1942, his star had risen so high that it outshone even Dorsey, prompting the music artist to embark on a solo career that would cement his place in music history. Influenced by Bing Crosby, the music artist's career was shaped by their meeting in 1935. Despite a friendly professional rivalry, Crosby recognized the music artist's talent. Although denied during his lifetime, the music artist's connections with figures like Sam Giancana and the Fischetti brothers were revealed in his FBI file after his passing. The music artist Frank Sinatra was a well-known celebrity who used his fame to support political candidates. One of his most notable endorsements was for John F. Kennedy, or JFK, during his presidential campaign. Sinatra was a strong backer of Kennedy and even hosted a fundraiser for him at his home in California. However, their relationship took a turn for the worse when it was revealed that Sinatra was having an affair with Kennedy's sister, Pat. This revelation led to the end of their friendship and soured Sinatra's view of the Kennedy family. In addition to his political connections, Sinatra was also known for his notoriously bad temper. He was prone to violent outbursts and would often bully those he disliked, including venue employees and less famous entertainers. There are numerous stories of Sinatra's temper leading to physical altercations and property damage. His anger was feared by many, and it earned him a reputation as a difficult and unpredictable person to work with. Despite his success as a singer and actor, Sinatra's temper and personal life often overshadowed his professional accomplishments. His connection to the Kennedy family and his violent temper are just a few examples of the complex and sometimes troubled life of this music artist. The music artist's marital life was marked by turbulence and infidelity. He was married 4 times, with each marriage ending in divorce. His longest marriage was to Barbara Marx, which lasted from 1976 until his death in 1998. However, even this union was not without its challenges. Before marrying Marx, the music artist was married to Nancy Barbato from 1939 to 1951. This marriage ended due to his infidelity with actress Ava Gardner. The music artist and Gardner married in 1951, but their marriage was also plagued by his infidelity and struggles with depression. The music artist's depression was a significant factor in his marital problems and personal life. He reportedly made several suicide attempts throughout his life, including once with a gun. In fact, it was Gardner who reportedly tried to wrestle the gun away from him during one such attempt. Despite these challenges, the music artist continued to pursue his passion for music and acting. His personal struggles, however, remained a constant theme throughout his life, even as he found success in his career. The music artist's marriages and affairs, as well as his battles with depression and suicide attempts, are an important part of his complex and multifaceted story. In 1963, a harrowing event occurred in the life of the music artist Frank Sinatra. His son, Frank Sinatra Jr., was kidnapped, marking a dark chapter in the family's history. The kidnappers demanded a ransom of $240,000 for the young Sinatra's release. After a tense few days, the ransom was paid, and Frank Jr. was safely returned. The kidnappers were eventually caught and convicted, bringing a measure of closure to the Sinatra family. As the years passed, the music artist continued to entertain audiences, but his final years were plagued with health issues. Despite these challenges, he remained surrounded by his loved ones, who provided him with comfort and support. When Frank Sinatra passed away at the age of 82, it was a peaceful end to a long and storied career. He was buried with personal items that reflected his personality and interests, including Camel cigarettes and a bottle of Jack Daniels. These items served as a reminder of the music artist's unique spirit and the lasting impact he had on the world of music. Throughout his life, Frank Sinatra faced many challenges and triumphs, but he always remained true to himself and his art. His legacy continues to inspire new generations of musicians and fans, ensuring that his music will live on for years to come. As we remember his life and contributions, we are reminded of the enduring power of music and the impact it can have on our lives. Nancy Sinatra Jr. has offered a critique of her father's fourth marriage to Barbara Marx, expressing her belief that it may have negatively impacted his health and well-being. According to Sinatra Jr., her father's relationship with Marx was marked by a desire to erase his past, including his first marriage and his children from previous relationships. Sinatra Jr. has claimed that Marx tried to push for an annulment of her father's first marriage and even attempted to have him adopt her son from a previous relationship. These efforts to rewrite her father's past were met with resistance from Sinatra Jr., who felt that Marx was trying to erase her and her siblings from his life. Despite these tensions, the music artist remained married to Marx until his death in 1998. However, Sinatra Jr.'s critique raises questions about the impact of this marriage on her father's well-being. Some have speculated that the stress and tension surrounding his relationship with Marx may have contributed to the music artist's declining health in his later years. Sinatra Jr.'s critique also sheds light on the complex dynamics of family and relationships, even within the context of a high-profile celebrity marriage. Her reflections serve as a reminder of the importance of acknowledging and honoring one's past and of the potential consequences of trying to erase or rewrite history. As we reflect on the life and legacy of the music artist, it is important to consider the perspectives and experiences of those closest to him. Nancy Sinatra Jr.'s critique offers a unique and personal perspective on her father's life and relationships, and serves as a reminder of the enduring impact of family and personal history. The music artist's relationship with Barbara Marx was volatile, yet they remained married until his death. Barbara's actions after the music artist's passing were met with criticism from his daughter, Nancy Jr., who claimed that Barbara failed to inform her about her father's final moments. Meanwhile, the music artist played a role in facilitating Marilyn Monroe's affairs with John F. Kennedy and Robert F. Kennedy, which had deep emotional impacts on Monroe. The music artist's involvement in Monroe's affairs added another layer of complexity to his personal life, further solidifying his reputation as a controversial figure. Despite the music artist's tumultuous relationships, he remained a beloved figure in the world of music and entertainment. His impact on the industry and his fans continued to resonate long after his passing, serving as a testament to his enduring legacy. The music artist's relationships with Barbara Marx and Marilyn Monroe were just a few examples of the many complex connections he formed throughout his life. His ability to navigate these relationships, despite their challenges, spoke to his resilience and determination as an individual. As time went on, The music artists' relationships and experiences became the subject of much analysis and discussion. Fans and historians alike continued to explore the many facets of his life, seeking to understand the man behind the music. Despite the ups and downs of the music artist's personal life, his contributions to the world of music and entertainment remain unmatched. His talent and charisma continued to captivate audiences long after his passing, solidifying his place as an icon in the annals of history. In the end, the music artist's relationships and experiences served as a reminder of the complexities of the human experience. His life was a tapestry of love, loss, and triumph, woven together to create a legacy that would endure for generations to come. The final days of Marilyn Monroe were spent at the Calneva Lodge, a resort owned by the music artist. It was here that she displayed emotional instability and suffered a near overdose. The music artist, who had a close relationship with Monroe, tried to protect her during this time. In the days leading up to her death, Monroe had plans to hold a press conference regarding her relationships with the Kennedys. However, she never got the chance, as she was found dead in her bedroom at the Calneva. The official cause of death was listed as a drug overdose, but the music artist believed there was more to the story. He was convinced that Monroe was murdered to prevent her from revealing any sensitive information about the Kennedys and the Mafia. The music artist had connections to the Mafia through his involvement in the entertainment industry, and he believed that they were involved in Monroe's death. Despite the lack of concrete evidence, the music artist held on to his belief that Monroe was assassinated to protect high-level political interests. He was deeply affected by her death and remained tight-lipped about the details surrounding her final days at the Calneva. The music artist's belief in a conspiracy surrounding Monroe's death has fueled speculation and intrigue among fans and conspiracy theorists for decades. While the truth may never be known, the music artist's conviction and Monroe's murder adds another layer to the enduring mystery surrounding the iconic actress. The platonic bond between the music artist and Marilyn Monroe was a source of mutual solace for both of them. Amidst the struggles that came with their fame, they found comfort in each other's company, away from the prying eyes of the public. The loss of Monroe affected the music artist deeply, leaving a void that would never be filled. In the music artist's early years, his romantic relationships were often tumultuous and short-lived. One of his flings was with Vicki Lamb, the wife of a famous boxer. Their relationship was marked by infidelity, with the music artist often straying from their relationship. Despite this, Vicki remained smitten with him even after the relationship ended. Another one of the music artist's early romantic relationships was with Nancy Burke, a rising star in the entertainment industry. However, their relationship was also plagued by infidelity and turmoil, leading to its eventual demise. Despite the challenges that came with his early romantic relationships, the music artist continued to captivate audiences with his smooth voice and charming personality. His relationships, both romantic and platonic, were an integral part of his life, shaping his experiences and influencing his art. The music artist's affair with Ava Gardner began while he was still married to his first wife, Nancy. This tumultuous relationship was marked by heavy drinking and public fights, causing a great deal of strain and heartache for all involved. Despite the artist's initial intentions to keep the affair a secret, it eventually became impossible to hide, leading to a very public and messy divorce from Nancy. The artist's marriage to Gardner was marked by the same volatility that had defined their affair. The two were constantly in the headlines for their public fights and drunken escapades, and their relationship was a source of endless fascination for the public. Despite the challenges they faced, the artist and Gardner remained married for several years, during which time the artist continued to pursue his career in music and film. The impact of the artist's affair with Gardner was significant and far-reaching. Not only did it lead to the end of his first marriage, but it also caused a great deal of pain and suffering for those closest to him. The artist's heavy drinking and public fights with Gardner were a source of concern for his friends and family, and many worried about the toll that the relationship was taking on his health and well-being. Despite the challenges that the artist faced during this time, he remained committed to his career and continued to produce some of his most memorable work. His affair with Gardner may have been a source of scandal and controversy, but it also served as a catalyst for personal growth and artistic expression. In the end, the artist emerged from this tumultuous period stronger and more determined than ever, ready to take on whatever challenges lay ahead. Even after his divorce from Ava Gardner, the music artist couldn't shake off his lingering attachment to her. Their relationship had been volatile and destructive, but Frank still attempted reconciliation with Gardner on several occasions. However, these attempts were unsuccessful, and Frank eventually moved on. In 1976, the music artist married Barbara Marx, his fourth and final wife. This marriage turned out to be his longest and most stable, lasting for 22 years until his death in 1998. Despite the stability, there were still moments of tension, particularly with his children. Frank's children had a complicated relationship with their father's new wife. They felt that Marx was trying to take their mother's place and resented her for it. This caused a rift between the music artist and his children that never fully healed. In the final years of his life, the music artist continued to tour and perform, despite his advancing age. He remained a fixture in the entertainment industry, and his fans continued to adore him. Frank's marriage to Marx remained stable, and they were often seen together at events and parties. Despite the ups and downs in his personal life, the music artist's career continued to flourish. He released several successful albums and even won a Grammy for his work. Frank's impact on the music industry was undeniable, and his legacy continues to live on to this day. As the music artist entered his twilight years, he remained active in the entertainment industry. He continued to tour and perform, and his fans remained as devoted as ever. Frank's final years were marked by a sense of stability and contentment. Despite the occasional tension with his children, in the end, the music artist's life was a testament to his resilience and determination. Despite the challenges he faced both personally and professionally, he remained a force to be reckoned with in the entertainment industry. His legacy continues to inspire musicians and entertainers to this day. The relationship between the music artist and his daughter, Nancy Jr., was a complex yet close one. Nancy Jr. followed in her father's footsteps as a singer and actress, often collaborating with him professionally. Despite the occasional tension that comes with a father-daughter relationship, the two shared a deep bond. One of the music artist's most popular songs, My Way, has been a subject of controversy within his family. The song, which has been performed and recorded by numerous artists, has been criticized by the music artist and his family for being self-serving and indulgent. They felt that the song did not accurately represent the music artist's humble and giving personality. Despite these criticisms, My Way remains one of the music artist's most enduring and beloved songs. Its lyrics, which speak to the idea of living life on one's own terms, have resonated with audiences around the world. However, it's important to remember that the music artist and his family had a different perspective on the song. In the end, the music artist's relationship with his daughter and his feelings about My Way are just a few aspects of his rich and multifaceted career. His contributions to the world of music and film will continue to be celebrated for generations to come. The paternity rumors surrounding the music artist and Nancy Sinatra, his eldest daughter, have been a topic of interest for many. Nancy firmly denied the speculation that her father could be the father of Mia Farrow's son, Ronan, stating that it was impossible due to the music artist's vasectomy. This put an end to any further discussion about the matter. Apart from the music artist's family, his relationship with Judy Garland was also a subject of much intrigue. The two shared not one but two love affairs, yet they remained lifelong friends. Their bond was so deep that the music artist even funded Garland's funeral when she passed away in 1969. Their friendship was a testament to the fact that sometimes romantic relationships can evolve into something even stronger, a deep and enduring bond that lasts a lifetime. Despite the ups and downs of their romantic entanglements, the music artist and Garland maintained a strong connection that was evident to those around them. In addition to their personal relationship, the music artist was also a mentor to Garland, offering her guidance and support throughout her career. He admired her talent and was always there to offer a helping hand whenever she needed it. Their friendship was a source of comfort and strength for both of them, and it remained so until the very end. In conclusion, while the music artist's personal life was often the subject of much speculation and rumor, his relationship with Judy Garland was a shining example of the power of enduring friendships in the face of adversity. Despite the challenges they both faced in their personal lives, they found solace and support in each other, and their bond remained unbroken until the end of their days. As we reflect on the life and legacy of the music artist, it is these kinds of relationships that serve as a reminder of the enduring power of love and friendship, even in the face of great adversity. Through his music and his relationships, the music artist left an indelible mark on the world. His legacy continues to inspire and captivate audiences to this day, and his story serves as a testament to the enduring power of art to touch hearts and change lives. As we remember the music artist, we are reminded of the profound impact that one person can have on the world. Through his talent, his passion, and his unwavering dedication to his craft, the music artist left a lasting legacy that will continue to inspire generations to come. His story is a shining example of the power of art to transcend time and touch the human heart, and his music remains a testament to the enduring power of love and creativity. As we reflect on the life and legacy of the music artist, we are reminded of the profound impact that one person can have on the world. Through his talent, his passion, and his unwavering dedication to his craft, the music artist left a lasting legacy that will continue to inspire generations to come. His story is a shining example of the power of art to transcend time and touch the human heart, and his music remains a testament to the enduring power of love and creativity. In the end, it is through his music and his relationships that the music artist will be remembered. His legacy is a testament to the enduring power of art to touch hearts and change lives, and his story will continue to inspire generations to come. Through his talent, his passion, and his unwavering dedication to his craft, the music artist left an indelible mark on the world. His music remains a testament to the enduring power of love and creativity, and his legacy will continue to inspire and captivate audiences for generations to come. As we reflect on the life and legacy of the music artist, we are reminded of the profound impact that one person can have on the world. Through his art, he touched hearts, changed lives, and left a lasting legacy that will continue to inspire generations to come. His story is a shining example of the power of music to transcend time and touch the human heart, and his legacy will remain a testament to the enduring power of love and creativity. In the end, it is through his music that the music artist will be remembered. His songs, his voice, and his unwavering dedication to his craft have left an indelible mark on the world. His legacy is a testament to the power of music to touch hearts and change lives, and his story will continue to inspire generations to come. Through his talent, his passion, and his music, the artist has left a lasting impact on the world. His songs remain a testament to the enduring power of love and creativity, and his legacy will continue to captivate audiences for generations to come. As we reflect on the life and legacy of the music artist, we are reminded of the profound impact that one person can have on the world. Through his music, he touched hearts, changed lives, and left a lasting legacy that will continue to inspire generations to come.